For the picture of COVID in Victoria, we do see a bit of a drop in numbers over the last few days. I think most people feel cautiously optimistic about that. I'm cautiously optimistic about that. I think it's terrific to have seen a consistent drop over a few days. That's not to say that we shouldn't keep our guard up or that we might not see an uptick in cases, but with the higher and higher levels of vaccination coverage each and every day in Victoria, across Australia, it does give me hope that we are continuing to suppress the transmission in our hotspot areas in particular, as vaccination coverage has really improved, but really across the board. Yesterday in the northern suburbs we did see 527 new cases, again mostly in Hume and Whittlesea. In the southeastern suburbs there were 363 cases. That's increasing a little bit, but much more stable, mostly in Casey. We do have a new mass testing site in Thompsons Road in Cranbourne, and they did almost 900 tests yesterday, which was great for a first day. But it can do double that number, so if you require a test, it's a great option to get through and get a test quickly. The western suburbs saw 387 new cases, which was about a quarter of the total, and the eastern suburbs 69 new cases. For our regions, there are 110 new cases. That's pretty stable again. There are now 1,144 cases outside of Melbourne. Greater Shepparton, Greater Geelong, Greater Bendigo, and of course Mildura, which is currently in lockdown. There were 24 new cases there. For Mildura, that's a total of 113 active cases. But there were 900 tests done yesterday. That's 3,300 tests since Saturday. That's about 1 in 10 people in Mildura have been tested just in the last few days. So a fantastic community response in Mildura, and indeed an online community forum held last night had 2,500 people in attendance. So again, almost 1 in 10 people tuning in to see what the update is there and what they can do to help their community and to make sure they stay on top of transmission. To good news, vaccinations, our weekly local government area data summary, Mildura had the highest growth in first dose vaccination coverage of anywhere in Victoria in the past week. It's now tipped over 90% for the over 16 population getting a first dose. There are lots of other local government areas that are doing really well after Mildura. Latrobe, Baw Baw, Mitchell Shire, Hume, Casey, Melton and Greater Dandenong. So a lot of those you're familiar with as hotspot areas. So absolutely fantastic to see that really significant growth in first dose coverage. And others in regional Victoria that have seen cases or haven't seen cases, but really important that regional Victoria thinks about getting vaccinated. There are places in regional Victoria that have seen very few cases, or for some no cases at all for several weeks or months. But we are going to be moving about the state at the 80% double dose mark, which will come in early November. So regional Victorians, don't put off vaccination because you haven't seen COVID in your community. You need that first dose, the second dose following 3 to 4 weeks later, and another week or so to get the immunity to really kick in with that second dose. So please, if you've had no dose at all now, please make sure you get that first dose, because COVID will come to all regions of Victoria in time as we open up. Hopefully with the kind of stable, low levels that we're seeing in regional Victoria now, because we've got that very high vaccination coverage. It has been really encouraging to see communities come forward for vaccination. It really will be that cap on transmission that we need across the state as we open up. We've got more than half of our local government areas with 90% first dose coverage, and more of those LGAs are tipping above the 90% coverage each and every day. There's 46 out of 79 LGAs that have achieved this milestone, which is absolutely fantastic. In support of that, we've got school pop-ups continuing to drive our vaccination rates, especially in that 12 to 15 year age group, which has absolutely skyrocketed. There are 11 school vaccination pop-ups this weekend. There are new ones running at, and I'll go through the list, Thomastown Secondary College, Luana College in Newborough in the Latrobe Valley, Carrum Downs Secondary College, Pakenham Secondary College, Tarneet Secondary College or Senior College, Glen Eagles Secondary College in Endeavour Hills, St Albans Secondary College, Elevation Secondary College in Craigieburn, the Lakes College in South Morang, Coburg High School and Chaffey Secondary College in Mildura. So these pop-ups are open to school communities, obviously, but they are also open to anyone in the local area. So please use those pop-ups as an opportunity to get vaccinated, especially as kids return to school. If you are a household with kids going to school now or going to school very soon, please get vaccinated, because there will be COVID-19 that is brought back into households from school cases, and we want that cocoon of protection within households as schools open up more fully. These pop-ups are administering Pfizer and AstraZeneca, with the exception of Luana College in Newborough, which has Moderna and AstraZeneca available. Some are taking bookings, but all of them will accept walk-ups with no appointment. So it's a terrific opportunity to get vaccinated close to home in a setting that's familiar to those who are attending. Thank you.